So we know that the Department of Defense in the US is looking for deception solutions. And as part of our partnership, we participated in a very good event a few months ago. Can you please share and elaborate on that participation?
I'd love to. That was a really cool event to participate in. We can't disclose who it was for, right, because it's sensitive. However, I do know that there was 15 people that submitted a response to the request for information the government put out. And I know that it was down selected to 5 actual participants. And of those 5 participants, only 2 were successful as an awardee for the participation in the event. What's interesting is, we were dealing with very advanced red team. And I can only speak for our participation, but we were able to leverage the CounterCraft platform to kind of bat the red team around like a ball of yarn, if I'm being brutally honest. We were able to use tactics and techniques on your platform to negate some of the things they were trying to accomplish, rename files, change some bits and bytes so executables didn't work, etc., to the point that after the exercise was over, they pulled one of our folks off to the side and they genuinely wanted to know how we accomplished what we were doing. And that just goes to show these folks are accustomed to the term that we don't like to use in honeypot. Honeypot is not what we would consider CounterCraft. Yeah. Deception is definitely the term, right? But they're accustomed to things that they could easily detect. I'm in an environment that's not real. That was not the case in this exercise. They weren't able to determine that they were in a false environment, and we were able to trap them, we were able to deceive them, and we were able to break their mode of operations on some of the stuff they were trying to accomplish, so much so that they wanted to discuss it after the exercise was over.
That sounds super cool. And it's true that many people, I think there is a huge misconception about deception. Like people think that it's easy to detect, that is a decoy or something that is not real. But it's true also that we've been working very hard in order to make everything credible, believable, using real IT or OT or cloud services always. And even now we are using AI for creating content, and so that it's even more believable that everything is real. It's like the production side. So I think that that's a huge misconception, but I'm glad that exercise also show that it's not always the same stuff, no? Like it's important.
100%. And what's interesting is one of our engineers had a conversation with a key stakeholder that was one of the leaders involved with that exercise. And one of the things that was discussed was, can't discuss the vessel, but, when you're outside of communication space, when you re-enter communication space, someone else may be aware of that and may automatically try to infiltrate your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Having a deception, a decoy, or whatever you want to call it, in place, that when you come back into comms, that you're collecting anything that may be happening in real time is a use case that makes sense for some of our U.S. military operators. And they were excited to have that conversation and the potential for leveraging technology like CounterCraft to accomplish those goals. Yeah, I think that from a partnership perspective, it's our job to look at stuff as it comes out from the government, be it an RFQ or an RFI or any type of CRADA, et cetera, and determine if it's a good fit for our partners. And that's exactly what happened here. One of our account managers saw this request for information. He shot it over to our CTO and myself. We reviewed it, and immediately all were in violent agreement that CounterCraft was a absolute perfect player for that opportunity. And I'm glad that we did, because we performed very well. And I think everyone should be proud of the performance within that exercise.
Definitely, yeah. I think also from CounterCraft's point of view, working with you with Mission First, I think this is a real pleasure, as you are very well you are very well trained. You have a lot of knowledge about different technologies and techniques. So working with you guys is always, as I said, a pleasure, and we're looking forward to working with you in the future. And also talking about the future, I'm looking ahead. What do you think would be the next threats, the next capabilities that attackers are going to put in place in the next 1-2 years now? That because everything is going so fast these days.
Everything is going so fast. I think that's genuinely it. I think that The threat actors are ever present. They're more equipped than ever with less resource and with AI and edge attacks and, just pretty much anyone can be an adversary at this juncture just because of the newer technology. That's going to keep growing. It's going to get, for every good that it brings to the table, because a defender can go in and say, I got this alert AI. What should I do to prevent this from happening again? That's good. But on the exact opposite end of that, you've got the threat actor that's leveraging platforms to develop those adversarial techniques in real time. And what probably took months to develop before may take hours, days, weeks. So they're just becoming all the more proficient. And the more activity, the more alerts that are going to end up in a scene, that's going to create what I consider the worst component of any SOC is alert fatigue.
Yeah.
And I think that you guys address that specifically because if anything happens on your platform, you should absolutely pay attention. It's not a question.
Yeah. But I also think that AI is bringing, of course, many new threats, as you are describing, because it's making everything easier for the attackers. But also we as defenders also can use, of course, AI. That's something that we already using, not only in our product, but also in many security products are adding AI capabilities.
Yes.
Trying to make summaries of incidents or trying to enrich information, trying to automate many of those boring tasks that the SOC is doing sometimes, those level 1, level 2, level 3 people. So I guess that AI is, as always, is a good and bad thing, as depends on how we use it. In our case, we are also using AI for making everything more credible and also try to respond in a dynamic way. So based on what we are seeing in real time that attacker is doing, then we can make decisions in real time. Like we say, okay, the attacker is looking for financial information from this organization. Let's create and drop more files about financial content so that they can waste more time. Or perhaps we see that they are moving laterally. They are scanning the network. They are looking for the Active Directory. We can easily spin up a new Active Directory so that they can connect to the Active Directory. So trying to maximize the dwelling time and the time they are going to spend in the environment. So AI is always good and bad. But the good thing as defenders is that we have lots of things to do. There are super good tools that we can use. And with the use of AI agents, also we can automate so many things at the same time. So I guess that is going to be a nice challenge in the next few months, years ahead.
100%. I think it's enablement, but it's also the reason why, right? And it's interesting because it's not just corporate America. It's not just paid OEM manufacturers that are developing and implementing AI. Something as simple as Kali Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Kali Linux now includes Gemini, right? And when you start to see open source, including it in their platform and in short order, it really exposes how dynamic it really is, which means operators that are adversarial can leverage those platforms too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free,
mm-hmm.
right? So you don't need to pay to play anymore. You're weaponized with very little financial investment. And that's the scary part, is before people had to have their own infrastructure. Now they can use cloud,
mm-hmm.
right? It's available.
Yeah.
It's global.
Yeah.
And so is, language models. You can go download one today. You already illuminated that and run it on-prem or anywhere that you'd like. And you can leverage it to help develop deceptive techniques to try to get past your traditional security stack. Again, I can't hammer home enough. Alert fatigue is the biggest thing that we're up against. It's not intel. It's too much intel.
Mm-hmm.
So anything, including deception, that brings a focus or, drives the attention of the analyst to something that is present, that's real, that's a force multiplier. That's something that's going to be impactful. And that's what we see in CounterCraft from a mission first perspective.
Yeah, I think that we are in the right track then, as our partnership and working together, trying to eliminate that alert fatigue by focusing on the right incidents or the important stuff that's happening. I think is the way forward. So we are looking forward to working with you.
As well.
Thank you for everything.
Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you.